Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be covering the celiac artery. We're going to be covering the basically the arteries that come off of the celiac trunk. We'll also cover parts of the stomach and parts of the gallbladder as well in the later part of this. So let's dive in and look at it. You'll want to label this part coming down into the stomach as the esophagus, and here's your liver right here, and the gallbladder sits right underneath it. This is your spleen sitting over here in the orange. But let's zoom in. That celiac trunk that's going to be in yellow right here, that is going to lead to 3 different branches coming off of it, okay? So the first branch is going to be number 2. That's going to be your left gastric artery. Number 5, that is going to be your splenic artery. And number 8, that's going to be your common hepatic artery. Coming back to that first part, number 2, that is going to bifurcate, and you're going to be left with an esophageal artery, which we've seen in the past in a previous video, further up. And then number 4, that is going to be your gastric artery right there. Number 5, it's going to come on this posterior side of the stomach, and it's going to come right into the spleen. And then we've got 2 other branches coming off of it. We have what's number 7, which is going to be your short gastric artery, and then we're going to have number 6, which is going to be your left gastroepiploic artery. Now let's come back to number 8, which is going to be that common hepatic. So number 8 comes over, bifurcates, and you've got number 9 that comes down towards the duodenum, and that also bifurcates into 2. So the one that comes down on the side where the duodenum and the pancreas is, it's going to be number 11. That's going to be superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. It's such a mouthful. But that's where that one is. The other bifurcation that's going to come on the inferior portion of the stomach, it's going to be number 10. That one is going to be your right gastroepiploic artery, just supplying blood on this greater curvature of the stomach, or the inferior part of the stomach. Coming back to number 8, we now have number 13, which is going to be your proper hepatic. So you have a common hepatic, which is carrying the blood flow for the liver. Hepatic is trying to point towards the liver. So the blood flow for the liver, and so it's common because not all of it is going to be for the liver. But then number 13, we have more proper hepatic. That's how I like to think about it, is now more of the blood is going to come into the liver. But we do have this branch coming off, which is number 12. Number 12 is going to be your right gastric artery. So proper hepatic, it's going to have the branch of the right gastric, but then it bifurcates into 14 and 15. So 14, it's going to come back towards the medial side, and that one's going to be your left hepatic, and number 15 is going to be your right hepatic. A section off of your right hepatic is going to come into the gallbladder. That's going to be number 18, and that's going to be your cystic artery. We have this gallbladder right here with that cystic artery coming into it. But if you're looking at the gallbladder and where that bile goes, is actually going to come down into number 17, and that's going to be your common bile duct. It's number 17. Your gallbladder is number 16 if you're following along in the book. So zooming out, That's all of the arteries right there, just coming off of that celiac artery, that celiac trunk. So if you can remember that celiac trunk has three parts to it, and one part is gonna get the top part of the stomach, another one's gonna come over to the spleen, and the other one's gonna go to the liver. Then you're kind of set on like understanding where the blood flow is uh, going from each branch. Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at the stomach really quick, the parts of the stomach. I had to draw this in. Feel free to do so as well. So I drew in the esophagus, and then I drew in the stomach. And this top part is going to be what's known as the lesser curvature, while the inferior part, the bottom part, is going to be known as the greater curvature. Um, Connecting in to where these curvatures are, you have a lesser omentum and a greater omentum. And from what I understand, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure that these omentums are just going to be suspensory ligaments for the stomach. They're really holding it in place. When you look at pictures and stuff like that, they don't look like really dense tissue like muscle or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure it's just really suspensory ligaments. As for the stomach, though, you have the esophagus coming in, and then it's like split up into fourths. So like 1/4 is going to be your fundus, and then 1/2 or 2/4 going to be your body of your stomach, and then that last quarter is going to be your pyloric antrum. Right after that, it doesn't go straight into the duodenum. You have your pylorus or pyloric sphincter, and your sphincters are just a circle of muscle, and they close and they open up to allow stuff to go through. So you'll hear sphincter quite a few times as we continue moving forward. But then hits the duodenum, and again, it is 10 inches long. So the other part of the stomach that you might want to write down, I don't have it written in, is that there's three muscles, three of them, that make up the layers of the stomach. You have a longitudinal layer, which is the outermost layer. You have a circular layer, which is your middle layer, and then you have number 3 being the oblique layer, and that's the innermost layer. And that those layers make up the stomach, and they run different ways as well, so that they can churn the food inside the stomach and help it to digest. Looking over at the gallbladder, so number 16, we're going to look at the ducts where bile goes. So your liver makes the bile but stores it in the gallbladder. The gallbladder, it is like a green looking thing. And that bile sits here, and it is used to help digest food. So you got bile sitting in here, and it's coming down. And this part right here is called your cystic duct. So that bile from the gallbladder goes through the cystic duct and then down 17, which is the common bile duct, into the duodenum. From your liver, though, you have the right hepatic and left hepatic ducts as well that shoot this bile down into. So if you get your gallbladder removed, your liver still has that bile, but it just doesn't have that reserve, and so it can be detrimental to those who have it removed and they eat greasy foods, just because they do not have the reserves to really digest that food. It messes with their digestion. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully that helps. Depending on your professor, you will get tested on this, and you'll get tested on the branches, and they'll just give you a card and they'll simply say draw it out, and label it on where each branch starts. So go over this. Hopefully the video helps. If it did, please like it, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right, I just want to give credit where credit is due. These are the books and the resources I used for the videos. So first we have Essentials of Human Anatomy by Dr. Kurt Walker. We then have Essential Clinical Anatomy by Keith L. Moore and M.R. Auger and Arthur F. Daly. I also used Structure and Function of the Human Body by Mark Nilsson and Jamie Garbett. The last book I have is The Concise Book of Trigger Points by Simon Neil Asher. And then I used the app called Complete Anatomy. As you've seen from the videos, it's amazing. If you can afford it, I suggest it. It's such a useful tool when learning this stuff. So that's it. Have a good day.